Satsang in English, which is being organized by the World Community Service Center IT team. As we may aware that the purpose of our life is to merge with the divine force, and we are all trying to achieve that by practicing the principles of Vedatrium and Sky Yoga. We may know that the inner travel plays a vital role on this. It's a great honor for us to welcome our today's speaker, Senior Professor Dr. V.S. Elamurugan sir from Coimbatore to give a speech on this interesting topic, inner travel. Sir is from Sky Professor's family. His parents are Senior Professor V. Subbu and Professor Maragadam Subbu, ardent disciples of our Guru. Professor Elamurugan sir is blessed to have the blessings of our Swamiji from his childhood days. He was a professor, HOD, dean, and an advisor for various educational institutes. Sir has conducted more than 1,000 motivational and empowering speeches. He addressed nearly 4 lakh students. He visited more than 40 countries during his career. He is rendering his service in the World Community Service Center as a simple and humble spiritual servant. It's a wonderful opportunity to have our senior professor, Dr. V.S. Elamurugan sir, with us tonight to give a speech on the topic inner travel. I'm pleased to hand over the session now to Sir to deliver his speech. Be blessed by the divine.
வாழ்க வையகம், வாழ்க வளமுடன். Be blessed by the divine, be blessed by the divine, be blessed by the divine. I am very much thankful for our WCSC IT team for organizing such wonderful lectures by the professors of Sky, enlightening us and making us to be on the righteous path to know thyself. My sincere salutations to Mother, Father, and Guru. I pray Almighty to bless all of us to enjoy good health, long life, enough wealth, prosperity, wisdom, and peace. With our sincere prayers to our revered Swamiji, let us begin this wonderful topic, inner travel. This is to my master from the book Bliss Beyond Words. Obeisance to you, O my Guru gracious. You who initiated me in Kundalini Yoga by the petal soft touch of your finger on the point between my eyebrows, thereby enabling me to feel the pulsation of my life. You then led me on to the stage of Duriya so that I may be free from the imprints of karmas and realize my origin through the process of meditation. Transcending the universe, I could then become one with the Absolute in the state of being. You taught me, O Great One, the art of sense control. And having identified the life in my physical form, I could be the center of the life energy particle as the Absolute functioning as consciousness. Through your compassionate instruction, I was placed in the path of virtue that brought to me the friendship of the entire world. Schooling me further in physical exercise, you expounded also the grammar of Karma Yoga. But the crowning glory to me of your tuition was simplified Kaya Kalpa Yoga, which is the ultimate in yoga. By all these means, you restructured my health and thought pattern, guiding me right up to the threshold of liberation. O my Guru gracious, I owe my all to you. Vazhga. My dear brothers and sisters and co-travelers, in the process of understanding the purpose of our life and to realize self and the God. Today's topic will help us to a very great extent to understand our life. Let us know the inner travel, realize it, and practice it. Start traveling inward from this moment onwards. Practice, practice, and practice. Practice only makes us to reach perfection. I have divided the topic into 5 compartments. Number 1, what is inner travel? Number 2, why inner travel is needed. Third, how to do inner travel. Fourth, who can do this? Fifth, when can we do inner travel? And finally, the benefits of inner travel. As we all know, very theoretically, inner travel is traveling inward. The very popular saying, the acronym of mind, can be understood: move inward and now discover what is mind. We always travel outward. Before coming to the sky system, before learning any meditative process, because of our old imprints, we have been habituated to travel only outward. Only by the grace of our revered Guru, we learned how to go inward. We travel only through our mind, both inward as well as outward. When the mind goes outward through our sense organ, we enjoy the 5 sensations: pressure, sound, light, taste, and smell. And because of the imprints that we develop by the constant extension of our mind through the 5 senses, 5 sensations, the mind becomes intoxicated with the sensual pleasure. And those, as we all know very well, they become imprints, and they are deeply embedded in our physical body, in our magnetic body, in our spiritual body, and finally, it is imprinted in our genetic center. We know we have already have 2 karmas, Sanjita karma and Prarabdha karma. The sum of those 2 karmas give us an Akamiya karma, and only this imprint guide us to go further in the daily process of our life. How to overcome that? For that, the functioning of mind, which goes externally through our sense organs, should be turned inward. Even if we don't send our mind through our sense organ, the mind thinks so many thoughts, and through that thought process also we move outward, or we are in a dream state. when the external travel is conditioned and the mind is trained to travel inward, and when we overcome the old imprints, it is possible for us to understand the importance of inner travel. Unless otherwise, we overcome our old habits, our old imprints. It's difficult for us to realize ourselves. So, the only way to purify our old imprints and to imprint only pure thoughts, pure habits, pure imprints, the only possible and the process is inner travel. Swamiji has given it simply as meditation. We all know meditation is nothing but focusing the mind on its own origin, the life force. When it is focused on its own origin, the mind started quietening itself by bringing down its wavelength. We slowly come to very subtle mental wavelength, and at one point of time, when we meditate, the mind becomes calm and quiet. At that point, the real inner travel begins. There is a much difference between an ordinary concentration and contemplation. The mind can be concentrated in so many ways, but all those concentrations which we gain out of external travel, it makes our mind to get bored and tired. But when the mind is focused inward, when it is allowed to merge on its own origin, the life force, when we meditate on the life centers, which we call it as chakras, medically the endocrine glands, the mind gains energy and there is no tiredness. We always feel fresh. That is why when the mind goes outward through the senses or through any thought process, we become tired. When the same mind is turned inward, we become fresh and energetic. What is meditation? Swamiji beautifully says the conjoined functioning of life energy particles manifests as the world and all objects and appearances. Truth is that which is indwelling in all these and functioning as consciousness is called the absolute also. The projecting mind is a world, and when it retracts and merges the life force, which is its source, that process is meditation. And Swamiji's explanation about the meditation and inner travel is the most scientific and most spiritual and most simple for any layman to understand. So when we make the mind to come and merge on its own origin, the life energy, we really start the inner travel. The first benefit of the inner travel is controlling the senses five. Sit and concentrate on the space between the eyebrows in order to ascertain the origin of consciousness. Your mind would come to quietude and you would then experience that your life itself is the almighty absolute. This is the sayings of our revered Maharishi. So when we understand the inner travel is nothing but doing meditation, bringing the mind from the external sources to the internal sources and focusing it on its own life energy is inner travel. And why we need this inner travel? We need this inner travel only to understand the mind and quietening it so that we elevate the mind to a higher level, which we call it as consciousness, and realize the truth, the Almighty God. Only when we understand the mind of man, we can understand the mind of God. Swamiji very beautifully mentioned the mind of God and the mind of man, they are interlinked. How to understand that? For that, we should understand the importance of the mind. The mind is a puzzling and marvelous phenomenon, a fractional function of consciousness. It functions only in living beings. It is a biomagnetic wave functioning with perceptual ability. We have very deeply discussed the consciousness in animate and inanimate objects, which is very specifically and very clearly given by our revered Maharishi. The consciousness functions as pattern, precision, and regularity. When it comes to the living beings, we have cognition, experience, and discrimination. When the same consciousness, when it functions in the human being as mind, life force, and unified force of the Almighty. When we realize that it is possible for us to understand the wave of the mind as the highest level of transformation, which goes beyond the sensory perception, as we discussed earlier, as pressure, sound, light, taste, and smell. The mind produces all its marvelous miracles with 6 kinds of organically evolved precisional devices: the physical body, the astral body, the biomagnetic body, the genetic center, brain, and the sense organs. The mind's activities are constantly changing. It is the nature of the mind. The mind has no limitations. That is why it starts from the physical body and it expands to the whole universe. The mind can shrink to the infinitesimal energy particles and in no time expand and encompass the whole universe. Mind is a wave with appropriate frequencies for every thought and feeling. Beyond the physical body, the same mind functions as consciousness, the static, silent state. Therefore, there is no time duration or limit for its travel or its imaginative visualization beyond the body. The unified force is static, silent in its primordial state, and is dynamic in its evolutionary stages. Similarly, the consciousness is static, silent state in its primordial state and transforms into all types of order of functions in the universe. The very same consciousness is mind in living beings. That is the importance of mind. That is the greatness of mind. That is why, though the mind is a biomagnetic wave, it becomes zero, it becomes consciousness. It really becomes the static state and it becomes the consciousness and it becomes one with the Almighty and it loses its identity. And the mind, through inner travel, by meditation, when it merges with the consciousness, it becomes that. And there is no mind, there is only consciousness, absolute space, plenum, total consciousness, Almighty, and God. We call it as unified force also. When we realize this, it is easy for us to understand how the mind can be allowed or practiced by constant practice to merge it with Almighty. And that is the need for the inner travel. And when we do this regularly, we reach a stage where whenever we close our eyes, whenever we bring the mind to the inner self, we start really calm and quiet, and we slowly reduce the mental waveness. It becomes very subtle, and we become very conscious of what we are doing. And when we start contemplating, when we do the inner travel, we create very noble thoughts. At one point of time, there is a thoughtless stage, and there is no imprints. We become the absolute space, we become the consciousness, and that is the ultimate purpose of our life. When it is possible for us to realize this particular moment in our life, and it's easy for us to enjoy this bliss. So, why we need inner travel? I quote again Swamiji's verses. The eye of man espies objects and appearances, and needling through all the mind, the and needling through all these, the mind identifies the ethereal particle, the substratum of which is the Almighty. The eye of man espies objects and appearances, and needling through all these, the mind identifies the ethereal particle, the substratum of which is the Almighty. So, when it is possible for the mind to identify the infinitesimal energy particle, which is the beginning of the static state to come to a dynamic state, and it is easy for the mind to go beyond. This realization unfolds a wondrous spectacle of all the stars and planets being none but the absolute. All the living beings inhabiting the earth are likewise the absolute, which is the indwelling self. When the mind merges thus in the Almighty, that experience bliss, which is beyond the compass of words. And this is the benefit of the inner travel. And when we do this regularly, when we really make the mind to see all the objects as fraction of totality, it is comfortable for a mind to become one with the Almighty. That is the ultimate benefit of the inner travel. And how to do the inner travel? There's a third compartment. My dear brothers and sisters, just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Focus the mind on any of the life centers. Of course, we can do meditation in any of the physical body, but the real benefit is focusing it on the life centers, the endocrine glands, the different chakras. And meditation on the chakras help us to really understand the inner travel. There's no need to give very great explanation for the inner travel. We all know we have been doing it, but now we have to do it with great awareness. When we close our mind, when we close our eyes, when we focus our mind on its own origin, the life force, what exactly we feel? Could we feel the sensation of the life energy? And again, go deep on the sensation. Can we go beyond sensation? Is it possible for us to come to the absolute space? Can we make our mind to become still? Can we make our mind to merge with the Almighty? and then it is possible for us that we are really progressing in the inner travel. Who can do the inner travel? Swamiji says anybody can do the inner travel who is having a body and a soul. And Swamiji has opened up the real Raja Yoga to the whole world without any restrictions. Only by contemplating, taking very sincere efforts, and doing regular meditation, one can enjoy the benefits of the inner travel. And when can we do it? That's the fifth compartment. We can do the inner travel at any time, convenient to us. I always request, I insist, I always beg our co-travelers to focus more on practice. So we have to meditate, meditate, and meditate. We have to practice the inner travel, practice, practice, and practice. And we can do at any time, whenever time permits, without giving any excuses. Of course, we are always moving in the very fast world. Of course, though I don't agree with the right race, we are in the right race. But it is only by our consciousness we have to put a full stop to all these great races and make ourselves to ask a simple question, why I am running, running, and running. So where I have to put a full stop to make run. Automatically become quiet. And when that happens to us, it is very, very easy for us. We all will find time to do meditation, the inner travel. So myself we simply meditate and go to bed. When we get up in the morning, we will meditate and we will come out of the bed. We will never give any excuses for not doing meditation. Similarly, all our sky practices. So it is up to the individual who should have the control over his life, and he should streamline his mind, and he should take an auto suggestion, come what may, I will do meditation every day. Okay. And the final part is the benefits of the inner travel. I can list a lot, but I will take two poems from Swamiji, okay, which will help us very easily to understand the importance of this inner travel. Swamiji says, to that Almighty, I put the question, who am I? And the answer reverberated in the joint functions of body, life, and consciousness. The body is the vehicle, and what animates it is life, pure conscious. Pure consciousness is truth, the absolute. And that is what I am, that is what I am. Through the process of inner travel, study is most important. The inner travel should be always steady, and it should be consistent. The consistent practice alone gives us the result. Through the process of inner travel, study, and through meditation, intense, every single word is of great importance. I request you to register it in our genes and practice it very consciously. Through the process of inner travel, study, and through meditation, intense, in total solitude, Swami says, I came to realize the absolute, the real self that pervades the universe in unending effulgence, and that is within me too, as in all objects and in appearance. When we realize this, it is easy for us to really enjoy all the benefits out of the inner travel. In our personal life, we all realize we are controlling our senses. That's the first benefit we gain out of inner travel, control of senses. I'm giving a big list, but every single title has a very deep inner meaning, and I request all of you to go deep into every single topic and realize them and enjoy the benefits out of them by sincere practice of the inner travel. So we gain control of senses. We maneuver our six temperaments. We develop harmony between body and mind, wisdom and habits, self and society, purpose of life and method of living, will and nature. Of course, it may take a very long time to explain every title in a very detailed manner, but we have been contemplating it quite for a long time, and I am sure all our fellow travelers they will understand the meaning of these titles, and we can definitely take them very deep into our heart, and by practice let us get all the benefits out of the meditation. So developing harmony between body and mind, wisdom and habits, self and society, purpose of life and method of living, and will and nature. We obtain creativity, receptivity, acceptability, adaptability, tolerance, humility, and magnanimity. In many of my management programs, the only one request I make, I appeal to all the participants is acceptance. First, accept yourself, accept others, and all the problems in our life can be very easily solved. The problem is only by non acceptance. The acceptance of self and others come only out of the meditation, the inner travel. And finally, perspicacity. We all know the meaning of the word perspicacity. The quick insight of the mind, linking past experiences, present environment, judging future results. When the mind is capable of getting the perspicacity, my dear brothers and sisters, what else we need? That is the greatest benefits of inner travel. You may wonder, just by inner travel, by meditation, can we reap all the benefits mentioned earlier? Yes, we can get all these. And we get much more. Let us practice them. Let us take one benefit, keep it in mind, meditate regularly, go deep inside, and we will realize that we are getting those benefits automatically. For example, if you want to be creative, if you want to be positive, if you want to be very generous, if you want to have magnanimity, just meditate. If you want to have love and compassion, just meditate. If you want to tolerate others, just meditate. If you want to adjust with others, just meditate. If you want to do sacrifice for others, just meditate. So the twofold principles every time after meditations we do, right? So only by meditation you will not hurt others. Only by meditation you will realize that we need to help others who are getting hurt. So it comes only by meditation. The highest order of the inner travel, the meditation, is to realize self, and in turn, it leads us to realization of God. The self realization is possible only by inner travel. And when we realize ourselves, automatically it takes us to God realization. The mind, when it is properly understood by our meditative process, when we know that it is nothing but the psychic extension of life force, and by the inner travel, only we make the extension of the life force only to come and again merge with the same life force. So when the mind becomes the life force, And when we know the origin of life force, when we expand it to the ultimate, the consciousness, we realize self and we realize God. That's what all the Vedas and Upanishads they tell us. Jiva, Brahma, Aikya, Mukti. So that also happens only by inner travel. Starting from the very simple benefit of controlling our senses and to reach the highest form of realization, the God consciousness, it is possible only by meditation. So I would love to conclude with Swamiji's sayings. The mind, we talk so much about the mind because only with the mind we meditate. Only with the mind we go deep inward. Only with the mind we go outward. Only with the mind we realize self. Only with the mind we become very subtle. Only with the mind we become conscious. So we have to understand the importance of mind. When we understand the mind is the divine treasure with multifarious values provided to each person on earth. Unless we respect the divine treasure, it is not possible for us to enjoy happiness, prosperity, and success. That's why Swamiji always say, know the value of yourself, the human birth, value of this human birth, value of this body, value of this mind, value of this soul. So when we understand that the mind is a divine treasure and it multifarious values, it is easy for us to respect the mind. So as much as one respects such a divine treasure, that much is his happiness, prosperity, and success in life. So the functioning of the mind is directly proportional to all the enjoyment that we have in our life. When there is a disturbance in the mind, the results as problems in our life. That's why Swamiji says, conflicts in mind deteriorate in the personality, enjoyment, and peace. Why we get all those unwanted six temperaments, greed, anger, miserliness, immoral sexual passion, vanity, and vengeance? It's all only because of the conflicts of the mind. The mind can be taken to the godliness, the mind can be transformed to the absolute, the mind can be elevated to the higher consciousness, the same mind can be deteriorated to these all unwanted six temperaments. So these six emotional temperaments are arising from and furthering mental conflict. So they must be streamlined in order to live a peaceful and joyful life. Inner travel helps us to quieten the mind and enjoy all the benefits out of meditation. Let us meditate, meditate, and meditate. Let us do inner travel. Let us become one with the Almighty and let us enjoy all the benefits in this life. As Swamiji says, the human life is a journey of consciousness. And we have already started the journey. In between, we have been diverted and distracted because of our old imprints. By continuous practice of inner travel, it is possible for us to enhance our awareness, to make it as a constant awareness, and we will be conscious and we will be cautious not to add more unwanted imprints into us. As our old imprints forces us to go into these deterioration, the same mind, when it gains positive imprints, noble imprints, very good imprints, those imprints, when they become our habits, these imprints will guide us only towards a virtuous way of life. And Swamiji has given us all that we need starting from an ordinary human being to transform ourselves into a supra-human being. Inner travel helps us. So, my dear members of the Sky family, let us meditate, let us meditate, let us meditate and enjoy this wonderful life. I thank the organizers for the nice opportunity given to me. And when I prepare for the speech, so I could find more realization, I could go very deep into Swamiji's words, and it really helps me to become more and more pure. So I pray Almighty to bless every one of us to enjoy good health, long life, enough wealth, prosperity, wisdom, and peace. வாழ்க வளமுடன் வாழ்க வளமுடன் வாழ்க வளமுடன். Thank you very much.
Vazhga Valamudan. Be blessed by the divine, sir. On behalf of all the listeners, we thank you, sir, for this wonderful speech. You have
Thank you.
beautifully explained to make us to understand that mind is nothing but the consciousness and mind is the God, and we can realize this only by going inward. You have also nicely explained on how we can travel inward by purifying our thoughts and our imprints, how we can enjoy the magic state of calmness of mind and inner travel simply by closing our eyes and keep practicing meditation. I'm sure that every one of us like to enjoy the benefits of inner travel by practicing meditation regularly and achieve the self-realization. Thank you very much, sir. Be blessed by the divine.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Thank you.
Vazhga Valamudan. Now the forum is open for discussions. Please click the raise hand button in your Zoom app to ask your questions. While you prepare for your questions, we have a few important announcements to make. Given the seriousness of developing immunity, please emphasize all your near and dear ones to learn and practice Kayakalpa Yoga. You can easily learn Kayakalpa Yoga from your home by visiting the website kayakalpayoga.edu.in or by downloading the Android application Kayakalpa Yoga by WCSC IT. Our monthly journal Anboli is also available in the Android app. You may download the Anboli app from the Android Play Store. Get access to the premium content of Swamiji's speeches at a nominal subscription. Connect with us on Facebook and YouTube at Sky Yoga TV to listen to all past speeches of our beloved professors for free. Karma Yoga Principles of Vedatrium suggest donating 1% of income to the good causes of society. As some of you are aware, these donations are not expenditures, but investments. You get more than what you pay as a good karma. We invite you to donate to the World Community Service Center, either through the Anboli app or through our official website, veda3.edu.in. Section 80G exemptions are available for these donations. Now we can go ahead with the Q&A session. Please introduce yourself with your name and place. We request you to state your questions directly. Sesachulam sir, please proceed with your question.
Sir, good evening. This is Seshachalam from Coimbatore.
Good evening, sir. Please.
Vazhga. Your speech is extraordinary, sir.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Thank you very much, sir. Please.
I have two queries.
Please.
Query number one: when you are saying that when the inner travel is happening, the inside the body, it gives a good pleasure also.
Yeah.
At the same time, when the mind travels outside, it gives different of thoughts and as well as some other trouble also.
Yeah.
I was not able to understand the actual difference of traveling inside and outside, sir.
Simple, sir. I will answer you.
Then I have got one more query. That also I'll tell you now itself.
Please.
You are telling about the meditation during when we are going to the bed.
Yeah.
What kind of meditation is advisable at the time?
Okay. I will answer both the questions, sir. Okay.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
I'll come to the first question. The mind, when it goes outside the body, okay, it goes,
Yes, sir.
yeah, it goes via the sense organs, okay, and through thoughts the mind goes outside the body, okay. That is why, because of the sensual, either it is a pleasure or it is an intoxication, or we have different experiences out of the senses. The thoughts also, we may have so many thoughts. All the thoughts may not be right or wrong, positive or negative, we don't know, okay. That is why when the mind goes out of the body, we experience different senses. But when the same mind, when we goes inside the body, the purpose of the inner travel is only one, that is, focus the mind on its own origin, the life force, nothing else. So when you meditate inside the body, when you do meditation at different chakras, you feel only vibration, you feel only sensation to start with. So you don't have anything else other than the sensation that you experience in those chakras. And when the mind becomes absolutely merged with the base, the life energy, okay, when you become that, right, so that experience is only bliss, that experience is only happiness. That is what I mentioned, okay. When you do meditation next time, you feel the difference, okay. There's a much difference. I have also mentioned, when the mind goes outside, suppose you are a very good artist, okay, you are doing a painting, you could do painting for 3 hours, completely focusing with the mind on the painting. But after 3 hours of painting, the mind becomes tired. You feel that your whole energy is exhausted. Okay, that is the outward travel of the mind. But at the same time, even if you sit for 10 minutes in meditation, absolutely focusing the mind on the self, you feel fresh, you gain energy. There is no depletion of energy. That's the answer for number one. And number two, the second question, could you again repeat, sir? I'm sorry. The second question.
You are telling about the
Got it.
meditation which you are, want to do it during the time of bedtime.
I told you, when we were very young and when we were small kids, when we learned meditation, we were staying at Salem, and I have to go for work. My sisters have to go to the college, and we have to do all the work by ourselves. Okay, we don't have any helping hands, so it's difficult for us to find time in between, right? So we have to cook, we have to take care of the family, and at the same time we have to do meditation also. So for that, to do meditation a practice, we resolved that anyway we are going to bed. Even if you go to bed by 10 o'clock, you are going to sleep. So before going to bed, you do meditation. Similarly, even if you get up by early morning by 4 o'clock, okay, right, you are going to get up out of the bed. So meditate and come out of the bed. Meaning, at least twice a day, we will definitely do meditation. Okay, you can do any meditation, sir. Okay, the request is we have to meditate. So when you have more time, you do Duryatit meditation. You have very little time, you do Agna. Okay. According to your convenience, you can do any meditation. Okay. Suppose you want to have a good sleep, if you find comfortable to do Shanti Yoga and just go to sleep, please do it. The purpose is to meditate at least twice a day. And whenever it is possible, you can do meditation any number of times in your daily routine. வாழ்க வளமுடன்.
Thank you, sir. Var Kavalamudan. She, please proceed with your question.
வாழ்க வளமுடன், sir.
வாழ்க வளமுடன்மா.
As you told, we are practicing meditation inner travel, sir. But day-to-day life, when we meet the worldly things, others want to impose their thoughts upon us, saying they are elders. I am too young. I am inexperienced. I am not respecting the elders, disobeying the letters like elders, like that they are saying. But I want to lead my life as my inner voice indicate or convey. Whether I want to know whether is it sin to go against the elders, sir?
No. There's absolutely, there's no need to go against the elders, and you need not feel that also. Okay. So when you meditate, when you become more aware of what you are doing, you'll be consciously doing only right things. Okay. When you are doing only right things, all others, all the elders in the family or in the society, they will recognize your greatness, and they will allow you to act independently. Okay. So we cannot simply assume that whatever I do is right, and whatever the elders are saying is not to my personal values. Okay. So when you become more aware, when you are conscious of your actions, and when you know the results of your actions, okay, of course you are an individual person, you can have your own thinking, nothing wrong, right? But you should not hurt others, you should not bother others. Okay. All the elders are telling us only for our own benefits. Okay. Right. So you can consciously evaluate, and you can very well convince the elders that I am on the very righteous path, I am doing only good things, so give me the freedom to act on my own. Okay. You can definitely do, okay, all the good things, and which will be recognized by the elders in your family also. Okay. You don't feel that you are losing your identity. Absolutely no. Whatever.
Thank you, sir. Kasturi ma'am, please proceed with your question.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Yes, ma'am. வாழ்க வளமுடன், sir. I am Kasuri Sridhar from Vellore Sankaranpalayam Sky Trust. Sir, your speech is really very wonderful and benefits to us. And it is also useful, as our Swamiji said, about the inner travel. My question is, sir, is there any specific life center to start for inner travel, sir? Sometimes I experienced in the early morning, automatically the inner travel starts from any centers, and also sometimes I attain that consciousness. Sometimes it gets obstruction in some places.
Okay.
I need the reason for that also. At the same time, there is any specific centers to start and end with that end for the inner travel, sir?
No, actually, ma'am, there is absolutely no specific centers where you can start and we can end. Okay. It all depends on your lifestyle. It all depends on your quest to do a lot of inner travel. Okay. And if you practice very consistently, okay, so you can have the mind merged with the life centers, okay, just at your will, and you can experience the same sensation at all your centers. Okay. Even you would be doing meditation at Atna, but suddenly you would feel that you are in Duryati. It's possible. Okay. So no need to restrict yourself that only this center I will start, this center I will end. Okay. When we learn meditation as the practitioners of Sky at the very initial stages, they have been taught stage by stage meditation, so that it is convenient for the beginners, okay, to focus their mind on different centers. So when you become familiarized with meditating in different centers, okay, you can do meditation at any centers which you feel, absolute no problem. And the second portion of your question, you feel sometimes stuck with those centers and all. No need to worry about that. Okay, you can do clearance. You can do get clearance from the senior professors in our centers, and no need to worry about that. I have been got stuck in these centers and all. Absolutely, no need to worry about that. And you can always elevate your mind to higher levels of consciousness. And when you do meditation at any centers, you will feel the same experience, and it helps you to merge with the Almighty. Okay, it comes by practice, and you can continue the practice. Okay, just my request is meditate.
Thank you, sir. Mehavani ma'am, please proceed with your question. Mehavani ma'am. Yeah.
Can you listen?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Ask the question, ma'am.
Elamurugan. Sir,
Vazhga Elamurugan.
in spirituality, according to Swamiji, can you please explain me what are the 7 planes of consciousness?
7
Planes of consciousness. PLANES.
planes of consciousness. Okay. Well, there is no 7 planes of consciousness. Okay. Consciousness, Swamiji says, functions, okay, in all the other objects. Like if you take, for example, the distant stars, okay, all other big objects, okay, it functions in 3 stages, because all these objects have a pattern, okay, and they have functioning with precision, okay, and they have a regularity, okay. These 3 things are in those objects. There's 3 stages of consciousness in those objects, okay. When the same consciousness it comes to the other living organisms, okay. So take for example a small worm, right, up to the fifth sense living beings. So the consciousness functions as cognition, experience, and discrimination. Okay. So every living beings, their consciousness functions in these 3 stages. So these 6 are the stages of consciousness. When it comes to man, the consciousness takes a higher understanding. So in man only, the consciousness functions as mind. Okay. So the other living beings, they have a life force. Okay. But they don't realize that the life force can extend as mind. That's the difference. But only in human being, we realize that we know the consciousness which comes from the Almighty, and it transcends through different objects, and it has the pattern, precision, regularity, and it functions as cognition, experience, and discrimination. In man, in ourselves, it functions as mind. And why we have the mind? The mind realizes we have a life force. So that's the second level of consciousness in man. And where from the life force comes? It has come from the unified force, the Almighty, the total consciousness, the plenum. So the mind, the life energy, the unified force, these 3 levels are in consciousness of a human being. So only these 9 planes of consciousness that is explained by our Swamiji. Okay, only man can understand all these different stages of consciousness. Okay, starting from animate and inanimate objects. Wow. Hello, could
Hello,
you hear
thank.
me?
Sorry, sir. I think it's like I'm having some technical difficulty.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, sir. Yeah. I think it's okay now. Thank you, sir. Rajagopal, sir, please proceed with your question.
Vazhga valmudan, sir.
Wow.
How to during the meditation, how to achieve thoughtless thinking, and how to limit the wavelength, how to reduce the wavelength.
Sir, when you meditate deeply, okay, the mental wavelength will automatically reduce. Okay, you need not strain yourself. When you focus your mind on different chakras, when you understand the first sensation, and when you feel that you are really meditating on the life energy is perceived as a sensation, the mind started verging on this sensation. Automatically, the wavelength is coming reduced. Okay, it is reduced and it comes to a very subtle stage. When your mind is only meditating, when the mind is merging only its origin, the life energy, there is only one thought that you have, that I am meditating. So all other thoughts will automatically vanish. And if you go deep into the meditation, even I am meditating, the thought also will vanish and you become one with that, and there is no thought at all. So that is the thoughtless stage which we obtain by completely merging our mind with totality. when we become that totality, when we become that consciousness, the mind also vanishes and there is no thought at all.
Thank you, sir. Yamuna ma'am, please proceed with your question.
Vazhga Valamudan, sir. Evening wishes, sir. Very privileged to listen your valuable speech, sir. As you said, silent and static. So many doubts are in my mind. Today, your speech cleared all the doubts in my mind, sir.
Okay.
And you told about consciousness in the wavelength of zero.
Yeah.
What is the technique to sustain in that state itself, sir? Please tell me about the technique, sir. We are going doing at Durya rhythm, sir. But we can't able to. Sorry, sir. Sorry to interpret you.
No, not at all. Please.
Let me finish my question, sir.
Please.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So, if we are being in Durya rhythm, means the wavelength is at zero sometimes, sir. But we can't able to sustain in that zero itself for a few minutes or more than few minutes. If it is, if you are giving me any technique, means it's easy to follow, sir.
Okay. Actually, there is no technique, ma'am, specifically which I can tell you. You follow this technique, you can retain yourself in that equivalent to the primordial state. Okay. When we become very pure, when we become very noble, when we don't have any desires, when we don't have any emotions, when we manage to maneuver our six temperaments, when we could control our senses, when we could create only pure imprints, and you are always at that samadhi state, man. Okay. And we could reach that level, but we couldn't sustain there. That is only because we have so much imprints that are to be neutralized here. Okay. And as Swamiji says, we have three methods: expiation, superimposition, and dissolution. Merge yourself with that Duryati meditation very often. You be in that state, you dissolve all your imprints over there, and you will become absolute space. And when you close your eyes, you become that. Okay. So it comes only by practice, man. There is no specific technique for it. When we become more pure, when we become more noble, and it reaches to us automatically.
Thank you, sir. Nokia, please proceed with your question.
Yeah, Vazhga Valamudan. This is Professor R. Bhuminathan from Pittsburgh.
Yes, Valamudan. How are you, sir?
Yeah, good. Excellent presentation. Good. The topic inner travel, Gaya.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just met you in 2010 in New Jersey, Mandram, Somerset.
Yes,
my family.
Yes, I remember you, sir. I'm very happy to hear you. Very happy to hear you.
You have taken the meditation in English at that time. We all have just taken part at that time.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, now after so many years, 10 years break, I'm able to hear your voice, which is wonderful, beautiful. Not only today, on love and compassion.
Okay.
On the other topic, yoga.
Yeah.
Beautiful. I'm very, 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 very happy to hear your wonderful message. I'm very much blessed to hear this during this crisis in English. Excellent. Okay. I'm enjoying. Congratulations. Okay. Wishing you all the best.
Thank you, Ayya. Our love to all in the family, Ayya.
Department for giving us the wonderful programs, wonderful messages on the concept of Swamiji. Okay. Inner travel was excellent. Focusing our mind on the life force particles, merging with God Almighty, the consciousness, the order of function, and anything and everything. It is superb. I just love you, and I just give my salutations to my great Guru, the wonderful Guru.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ayya. Thank you.
We have now come to the end of the Q&A session, sir. Thank you very much for answering all the questions. We thank you, sir, for sharing all the quality, valuable thoughts with us tonight. Vazhga Valamudan, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. Very kind of you.
Let us all come to the Durium State to thank the professor, Senior Professor Dr. V.S. Elamurugan, sir. Be blessed by the divine. His good health, be blessed by the divine. His loving family, be blessed by the divine. His divine service, be blessed by the divine. We would like to thank the following list of people who have made donations through online or Unboli app or through the Kayakalpa website. Shankara Narayanan, Sri Harinath Rangaraju, P. Selvarangam, K. S. Narayanan, Bhaskar Rangarajan, Asai Gandhi, Darshak. We thank you all from the World Community Service Center for your kind donations. May the Almighty Force shower you and your family with good health, long life, enough wealth, peace, prosperity, fame, and wisdom. Be blessed by the divine. We are happy to bring online programs live from the Arya Temple of Consciousness tomorrow on Saturday, the 6th June 2020. At 6 a.m., we have exercises in Tamil, 7 a.m., 9 center meditation in Tamil, 7:30 a.m., 9 center meditation in English, 11 a.m., speech in Tamil on the topic Mananalamum Vedatriyamum by Professor Janaki Raman, 6 p.m., Duryadhita meditation in Tamil, 7:30 p.m., Duryadhita meditation in English, 7:55 p.m., speech in English on the topic Sin Imprints and its Abolition by Senior Professor K. Muniratinam. Please share the invite with your friends and relatives. Let everyone take part in this spiritual journey. We thank our beloved President, Padma Shri Arulnidhi S.K. Mailanandan for his leadership and guidance. See you all tomorrow. This is Vidya Lakshmi Nagendran from the RER World Community Service Center IT team. Be blessed by the divine. Good night.
Good night.
Vazhga Valamudan.